Everybody, welcome to the ESOC Autumn Championship 2018. Today we have a match between XYH versus SirAllgamer. This is part of the Qualifiers stage, Group 19. SirAllgamer, a player from Germany, currently ranked PR21, which is second lieutenant, with a max JP ELO of 1800. Mostly known for his French and his British gameplay by my account. But this game, choosing to play as the Portuguese, we can see as the red in the south of the map. XYH is a player from China. He's also PR22, which is second lieutenant, and he has a max JP ELO of 1900, I believe. I'm going to play China in the north of the map here in the color blue. Contrary to SirAllgamer, he plays mostly more exotic civilizations. Rather than standard ones like French and British, he plays mostly Russia, Japan, Aztec, and as we can see here, China, as I've said for the third time. In fact, I believe this is both players' tournament debut. I don't believe they've played in an ESOC tournament quite yet. SirAllgamer. Pick up a 30 food treasure. I'm not sure why he didn't crackshot that with his Explorer. XYH picking up some turtle soup worth 40 food. Going into the, if we could describe the current group stage results for this group, Group 19. This group contains, of course, SirAllgamer, XYH, as well as Oliveitza and For Justice. Last weekend we had a streamed match with SirAllgamer versus Oliveitza, and unfortunately for Mr. SirAllgamer, he lost that series 2-0. XYH, on the other hand, I believe he's played versus Oliveitza as well. That wasn't streamed, but XYH losing that match 2-1. So both of these players with a loss on their record so far. So it's important to see if they can pick up a win here. Maybe go 2-1 the overall group standings. XYH, he gathered 50 wood, I believe, but he only built a village here, not gathering any more wood. Oh, he picked up a 50 wood treasure. That's going to be able to get him the second village, should he choose, or a trade post, should he elect. China, a very strong civilization on this map. Manchuria, a map that spawns in with a lot of yaks. These yaks can be used in task to villages, from which they'll fatten, basically like a livestock pen with a European civilization. And with that, these yaks fatten up much sooner than they do by, just normally existing. And around the 10 or 11 minute mark, they'll be fully fattened. With that, a great food supplement for the Chinese. What that does is it helps XYH push out a mass. Whether that be age 2, age 3. And if there's anything China's known for, it's being able to mass a lot of units very quickly. SirAllgamer, on the other hand, let's look at the shipments sent. No shipments sent yet, but they should be arriving soon. First shipment, village. XYH did choose to build a second village, and he got 3 villagers from this shipment. 1 from each village. 1 from the town center. ATP coming out for SirAllgamer. But where is SirAllgamer's Explorer? Popping out right over here. Gathering the wood for it already. Doesn't have the age up in queue quite yet. I think he might have another villager in queue. Oh no, he's just idling. Okay, now he's aged up. And with that, he's begun gathering wood to get this ATP trade line. And if he's fast enough, he might even be able to deny XYH from getting a trade post at all here. China, a civ that when they do a fast fortress strategy, they usually like to get a trade post in transition. XYH still gathering the food to age up here, a little bit behind. Normally China likes to age up around 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Gonna queue it up shortly here. There we go, right about on time. Gonna task 4 villagers to build that summer palace. SirAllgamer, already the age up in queue, almost halfway completed. I believe he'll be done around 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Around about that time. Chinese explorer. Nowhere near the trade line, but SirAllgamer picking up that second trade post. Got the third one queued up. So as soon as he gets up to age 4, he's going to be able to queue that stagecoach upgrade. And what that's going to do is it's going to enable him to task his trade post to resources. As well, the stagecoach travels faster than the rickshaw man. He'll be able to get the XP, the resources, whatever he tasks them to, much sooner and frequently than he would if it weren't upgraded to stagecoach. Let's take a look at SirAllgamer's deck. He chose Portuguese on this map. We can see there's a water card, no caravel shipments or warship upgrades. I think he's just only looking to go economic on the sea, just trying to make fishing boats and hoping Mr. XYH doesn't have any water cards of his own. But that's not the case, as we can see here. XYH has 2 war junks in his deck, which are the Chinese equivalent to caravels, as well as 2 warship upgrades. So should he choose, I think he'll definitely be eager to contest water if he scouts that SirAllgamer's going for that. SirAllgamer instead not doing any water-related build orders, getting the ATP stagecoach, a forward TC, as well as a forward barracks. 700 wood first shipment. I'm not actually sure how much that 700 wood does, but wood, never a bad shipment to have. Never a bad shipment to send early on. Very hard to make bad use of it. It may be able to get him some upgrades from the market, whether that be hunting dogs, steel traps. It'll get him a few more houses, a stable, a second barracks. But it'll also get him stagecoach, which is currently, let's see if it's being researched. It's in queue, wrong one. Next being researched. Dock coming up. Hunting dogs being researched, but no stagecoach yet. So that's what the 700 wood's going to be good for. 200 wood, 300 wood sitting in the bank right now. I think he's going to spend that on stagecoach shortly. Or maybe it doesn't display in not entirely sure. Anyway, the first dock coming out. 700 coin for SirAllgamer. So I guess with this extra wood stacked up, what SirAllgamer is going to be wanting to do is invest that wood into the dock, rather than getting the stagecoach upgrade. In fact, he did get the stagecoach upgrade. I apologize for getting so mixed up. It wasn't displaying. But anyway, this 3 TP line, all of SirAllgamer's and completely upgraded as well. The dock coming up here. SirAllgamer has the definite potential for a severe economic lead. He's basically got a 3 TC boom as well as 3 TP stagecoach. But enough about SirAllgamer. It's been a while since I looked at XYH's base. Going with a more standard Chinese build order, 700 coin, 700 wood, the standard FF build order. He's 8 vills on the Wonder. Where is this? Power of... I forget the name of it, but this is the Wonder that basically operates like a factory. It's basically 8 additional villagers once it's done completed. Barracks coming up. XYH picking up 60 food treasure. SirAllgamer also got the Age Up queued. Again, you know, look at that factory. The Porcelain Tower is what it's called. Adding a significant amount to XYH's early game economy. In terms of the economic unit population, you can see that Mr. XYH has 27 villagers and SirAllgamer has 17, 3 of which are, I said 17, I meant 29, 3 of which are fishing boats currently. Consulate coming up as well with the British ally. What I believe here is he'll send Intervention as his first Age 3 shipment, and then task those to siege SirAllgamer's TP line, as he's already doing with his banner army units that came from the Summer Palace. SirAllgamer popping out 5 musketeers. I'm not really sure what their purpose serves. I guess it was just, you know, a just in case unit pop. He's not making much of them right now. He could choose to maybe like go out on the map and see where his hunts are, or where XYH has stationed his buildings. Maybe harass a few villagers. But they're not going to be too valuable in the age 3 composition here. You know, Portuguese usually going with Caçador, Dragoon, Hussar build order. Not build order, but military unit composition. Musketeers not really having a good place in that. They have short range, and they also require a 200 wood, 200 food, 200 coin upgrade, which is quite expensive for Portuguese in early Fortress. A nice raid coming out here for XYH. Gonna deny SirAllgamer these hunts, but I don't think denying the food is something SirAllgamer is too concerned about when he has these villagers, these fishing boats already tasked to the fish on the sea. Still, despite basically having a 3 town center potential for a boom, XYH is ahead on economy. He's got these yaks fattened up now, gathering from them already, as well as the porcelain tower. Significant economic boon. SirAllgamer picking off these 2 cavalry nicely. 2 gonna make an escape for XYH, coming back to his home base. A town center coming up on the coast for XYH. And again, some more pressure on these this trading post. SirAllgamer gonna go to defend that. A pretty good massive Caçadors, which is gonna put off these Chukonu. It's Chengdao. Going to trade quite nicely, as long as he gives it his attention. SirAllgamer trading maybe 3 musketeers for about 5 Chinese units. XYH building a dock. I don't know what his next shipment's going to be. His first shipment in Fortress Age was actually 1,000 wood, which is what allowed him to build this this town center, a second war academy, as well as the dock. I wonder if XYH, there you go, with the Fune, what it's called? The Fuchuan, which is basically a conglomeration of a frigate and a galleon as the European equivalents. Gonna garrison these fishing boats, but sending this Fuchuan back, not choosing to use his cannon fire on the dock. He doesn't want to take the damage from the dock that the dock gains when it has fishing boats stored in it. Choosing to go back, heal, building a caravel in fact. Just look at the units in queue. For XYH, we have another cav batch from his War Academy, as well as 6 redcoats. This is quite a big investment on the sea from XYH. This shipment alone, I believe it costs 250 coin to send. 200 coin. As well, an H3 shipment is pretty much valued at 1,000 resources each. So this basically costs him 1,200 resources, this caravel cost him 400, and the stock cost him 200. That's already, what, 1,800 resources invested into the sea, and yet these fishing boats still able to gather freely. Oh, I missed it. There's a big engage coming for XYH. Killing basically all of these Caçadors. Redcoats killing the Dragoons. Minutemen coming out for SirAllgamer, but this Caçador do very poorly in melee. This Chinese cavalry, very powerful. Intervention coming in for XYH. And despite a slight economic lead for SirAllgamer, popping out 10 musketeers unupgraded, these 2 barracks in very vulnerable positions. So you can see he popped out these 10 musketeers, but he's forced to engage here. when he's outnumbered and out-teched. I don't know what these musketeers accomplished. They basically killed a single cavalry unit, but other than that, that was 750 food and 250 coin that died for free. 5 goon shipment coming out for SirAllgamer, killing off two Chinese cavalry, but gonna lose these barracks, and this barracks as well, basically unusable because he can't train units from it, for fear that the units that would pop out of it would just be immediately killed. SirAllgamer really needs some more production facilities, building 2 more barracks in base, another barracks, that's 4 barracks. I'd like to see a stable from him to round out the composition, but 4 barracks is quite interesting. He's really going to need to be able to piece together a sizable unit mass before he's able to engage with this, what the Chinese player has. XYH going big on the investment. The water. Guchuan costs 450 wood and 750 coin, more expensive than a frigate. Now he's gonna lambast SirAllgamer's ports. In addition to that, SirAllgamer lost his second age TC, 2 barracks, big batch of cavalry coming in for XYH. All engagements here. On the sea, losing a dock whilst harassing these fishing boats. Gonna lose another barracks. I'd like to see SirAllgamer maybe doing a better job of kiting, not being so proactive on his dragoons, but at the end of the day, he's still taking off quite a few of the Chinese cavalry, but you can see here, XYH still outmassing SirAllgamer, and I think he's going to be able to clean up everything here. In addition to that, SirAllgamer losing his aquatic economy. His dock going to go down shortly. SirAllgamer in a very difficult predicament. 7 Castador coming out, but I don't think 7 Castador are really going to be able to fight against this Chinese cavalry well. Basically, these Castador are so vulnerable without a dragoon backup that these cavalry are going to be able to focus them all down. SirAllgamer having at least 10 villagers garrisoned in his TC. XYH now with the recalculated economic unit population advantage. You know, at this point, it's hard to say what would bring back SirAllgamer in this game. Batch of 7 unupgraded musketeers still. He might do well versus this Chinese cavalry, but I just don't think it's enough, considering he's about to lose his TC with a bunch of villagers in it. And at that point, he still does have a shipment point over here, but, you know, with that economic disparity and no military on the field, and no potential for more military, it's just, it's basically game over for SirAllgamer. And SirAllgamer calling GG here. There you go. That'll be game 1 to XYH. Winning as the Chinese versus the Portuguese on Manchuria. The next map will be Tibet series. If we want to look at the post-game graphs, you can see even with oh, shut up Siri. Even with that that small fish economy, it wasn't enough. It wasn't that much compared to XYH's porcelain tower age up, which basically functioned the same as the dock economy that he had. XYH going better on resources. Let's look at the military. Yeah, units killed. Let's look at the military population graph. In fact, there was a window, basically, where SirAllgamer could have kind of harassed the Chinese military with his Castadors. That probably would have been about here, in early Fortress Age. If SirAllgamer wanted to make a move, I think he should have made a move here, before the Chinese, you know, military mass could have really started to get rolling. He needed to harass and try to reduce the number of units that XYH had. As well as, always focusing on getting that macro right with his 3 TCs and his dock. But at the 11-minute mark, or rather the 12, XYH came into SirAllgamer's base, engaged, killed a bunch of Cassadors, and from there it was very difficult for SirAllgamer to remass and be able to engage. And that spiraled into a victory for XYH. That said, we'll go on to game 2 now. Both players online, just waiting for them to host. Oh, no, they are hosting. My bad. Oh, it seems like they already have the civilizations. It should be of note that the winner of this group will move on to Placements Group K, I believe. And currently in Placements Group K is I Am Turk, awaiting the winner of this group. The winner of this series in particular isn't necessarily going to be the winner of the group. That might be somebody else. XYH locking in Japan here, SirAllgamer choosing to do Brit. And with that, I think we're all ready to jump into game 2. Again, this is game 2. It'll be on Tibet. This is the Qualifiers stage, Group 19, a match between SirAllgamer and XYH. In the north of the map will be SirAllgamer playing as the British, playing in the red color. And in the south of the map will be XYH as the Japanese, in the color blue. In fact, I'm not too much of a fan of Japan on this map. On Tibet in particular, you only start with these 2 berry bushes and a single cherry orchard rickshaw. On standard maps, you would start with 2 cherry orchard rickshaws. The cherry orchard has 5,000 food in it. 2 times 5,000, that's 10,000 potential food before Japan is forced to send an age 2 shipment that grants them 2 additional cherry orchards. On Tibet, on the other hand, you only get this 1 cherry orchard rickshaw, so there's 5,000 food, and these 2 berry bushes. That's 7,000 food total. So that's basically like nerfing Japan by a shipment. Like they lose a whole colonial age shipment because they have to send that 2 cherry orchards sooner than they would have had to if they were playing on any other map. Tibet, sort of a low hunt map, or at the very least, you have to extend quite far to be able to get to them, which isn't quite good for British. British like to be safe in base with high hunts, safe under their TC and their outpost. They like to be able to park some musketeers or some pikemen around those hunts. On this map, because it's so spread out, it's much more difficult for British to go with that game plan. One good thing about Tibet is that it's very easily wallable. These chokes, this can be easily walled, this can be easily walled. But against Japan, which is another economic unit civilization, I don't think the walls are going to be much of an impairment to the Japanese player. So they're not going to be much of a boon to the British. Instead, what SirAllgamer is probably going to need to focus on is catching Ashigaru raids if XYH elects to go with an Age 2 game plan. XYH, I don't believe he has, let's look at the economic units. Oh, I already had that open. He has 1 shrine up yet. I don't believe he built a consulate. In fact, he hasn't even built his cherry orchard. He's using it to scout somewhere around the map. There it is. Let's look at the treasures picked up for both players. SirAllgamer picking up 90 wood. XYH just getting bottom treasures, 40 XP and 50 wood. 50 wood's still quite good for Japan. Ah, the Japanese player has gone with a trade post. So he forewent the consulate and the Portuguese ally in favor of building a trade post and a shrine. His first shipment's going to be 2 settlers, compared to SirAllgamer's 3 settlers. I've actually seen a build order similar to this, even at the very highest rank. I think Mito brought it out in one of the weekend tournaments, a build that involved sending 2 villagers first, getting a trade post, and then in Age 2 sending the 5 Ashigaru shipment twice over, and playing a very, very aggressive Japanese build order. So XYH here taking some notes, some pages out of the book of PR40 players. He's only PR22, SirAllgamer PR21, but I'm interested to see what his strategy is going to be here. If how he's going to execute on that. XYH got enough food for the age up. 3 minutes 30 seconds, pretty good. I believe he's building the Toshogu Shrine, but that might also be the Torii Gate. It's too early to tell, but given its positioning, I would expect the Toshogu Shrine. Also shifting some villagers over to wood, standard stuff. SirAllgamer already had that age up queued. I think he'll be aged around, say, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. About hitting that market. Now let's see the Texan queue. Is he going to go for Gangsaw? Doesn't have enough coin to get hunting dogs yet. Instead, he's got enough wood to build another house. A bit late on the macro. Or maybe he's saving it up so he can build a barracks immediately. That might be something he's choosing to do. For XYH, 4 villagers taxed to this Toshogu Shrine. I'm gonna get it up as soon as possible. SirAllgamer up. Aged up with the 200 coin politician in an outpost. Barracks immediately coming up as soon as he aged up. And build this outpost to secure this hunt over by the plateau. XYH just being parked near this 75 food treasure, guarded by 2 snow leopards. Waited to the age up to begin engaging that treasure, just so that his monks would be stronger stats and could pick that up sooner. Let's look at the units in queue. SirAllgamer leading off with some musketeers. I'm interested to see if he's gonna queue them up in the direction of XYH's base and try to put on some early pressure, or whether he's just gonna keep them close to these villagers, close to this this outpost. Yep, walking them forward, but just waypointed them forward for now. 700 wood coming in. XYH, first shipment 4 villagers. Tasking them to food. No barracks yet. Barracks coming up right now. And no wall. So his base is a little bit exposed, at least from the north side angle. If SirAllgamer were to be a bit more proactive, he might have been able to harass some of these villas on the coin mine. But that's alright. Probably got some more musketeers in queue, trying to get that batch of 5, and maybe he'll push out once he has 10, once he feels a bit more comfortable. Five villagers, the second shipment from the second colonial age shipment for SirAllgamer. And even looking at the recalculated economic unit population, that 5 villager shipment doesn't actually put XYH on par with that doesn't put SirAllgamer on par with XYH's current economic unit population. You know, these shrines accounting for, I believe, 0.8 of a normal villager. And since he has around, I think only 5 shrines in total. How many is it? Economic. 4 shrines in total with the Toshogu Shrine. That is roughly, I forget how many villagers the Toshogu Shrine is. I think this is worth about 2 villagers. And each individual shrine, once it's fully tasked, is quite powerful. This one in particular, with 4 yaks tasked to it, is worth about 1.3 villagers. So adding up the 4 plus 2, caster math, that gives him about 6.5 villagers in terms of just from the shrines alone. SirAllgamer, second barracks up, mass of 19 musketeers, going back to defend against an Ashigaru raid. Ten more Muskin queue. Let's look at the units lost to see if SirAllgamer lost any villagers. Lost 2 villagers, but he traded that for 6 Ashigaru musketeers. Not the greatest trade, considering, or not the greatest loss, I should say, considering SirAllgamer's already behind in terms of economic population. But when you trade it for 6 Ashigaru musketeers, I think that's quite good. SirAllgamer here with 30 musketeers in total against XYH's 7 Ashigaru. Shortly here are going to pop out another 5 Ashigaru, but that still only amounts to 12 Ashigaru versus 30 musketeers with 10 more in queue. You can see here this 2 Cherry Orchard rickshaw having to come out. I think that was still a bit premature. He's still got 3,000 food in this Cherry Orchard right here. If SirAllgamer chooses to push out, this could be a deadly, deadly engagement for XYH. XYH going with the Dutch consulate, that's quite non-standard, and getting some stadhouders for his mass. Usually you see Japanese players electing to go with the Japanese consulate ally. In fact, he sent 300 export and got another batch of stadhouders. That's very interesting. But as I was saying, Japanese players usually go with the Japanese isolation consulate alliance, or they go with the Portuguese. So to see Dutch, that's quite uncommon. But instead of getting a bank, he chose to get 12 stadhouders, which definitely bolstered his masses enough to ward off SirAllgamer's mass. However, that said, this is still only around 30 population with the musketeers. SirAllgamer has 50 population with the musketeers, and I think if he were to choose to engage here, he would come out ahead. In fact, even that musketeer attack card coming in for SirAllgamer, I really think this is SirAllgamer's window, and the longer he chooses to put it off, the worse it gets for him. I'd like to see him make a commitment. XYH evening out the scores. Economic population looking about even. He hasn't built that many more shrines. He still only has about 6 shrines, and this Toshogu shrine as well. SirAllgamer now has some longbowmen in queue. 4 longbowmen. Some villagers. Like I said, we're approaching the 11:30 minute mark, and we haven't seen any aggression from SirAllgamer yet. We haven't seen him harass any villagers. We saw him catch a raid from XYH, but, you know, despite his military advantage for most of the game, he hasn't chosen to make a move. And even now, his army going in an awkward direction around the cliff. XYH going the opposite direction. I think SirAllgamer is going to push in here, but he needs to take care how he does it. I mean, if he were to straight up walk in this base and begin sieging that town center, I think it's likely he would be able to take it down. Maybe kill a few villagers before XYH were able to get his Ashigaru and Redcoat, or stadhouders, mass back into his base and defend that. Sieging a shrine, well, that's something. Using Daimyo Motodata to stream, excuse me, not stream, but scout SirAllgamer's villager positions. This is going to be a nice pickup. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 villagers if he chooses to kill. But going the opposite direction, still might pick up a nice 3 villager raid. SirAllgamer choosing to walk into XYH's base. In fact, I missed it, but XYH was aging up to Fortress Age with the Golden Pavilion. And when you see that your opponent has aged up, you know, when you're playing any civilization, you know that's your time to engage. This is the time when XYH's military population is going to be at its lowest, and he's not going to have the upgrades yet. While I feel that there were windows for SirAllgamer earlier in the match, this is his last window. This is the last opportunity for him to do something before he completely gets outscaled. So he's got to make the move now. Some longbowmen sitting idle, but some more musketeers coming forward. Killing off a few villagers. This TC already over halfway sieged. Popping out some Minutemen. I think this town center is going to go down. But not without some heavy losses on XYH's side. Thanks to SirAllgamer, he only lost a few units there. Might have lost about 10 musketeers at most. But XYH losing 8 villagers, his town center, as well as a few military units. XYH gathering a lot of wood right now. Push off these cherry orchards. I think he'll build a TC shortly. He's floating some wood, so he might choose to pump that into Yumi archers. But SirAllgamer losing an additional 15 musketeers here, and in fact he's currently outmassed. In addition to that, XYH has the disciplined upgrade for his Ashigaru, which improves their HP and attack by 20%. So SirAllgamer not only has the stronger units, he has the numbers advantage as well as the tech advantage. SirAllgamer losing some momentum here, choosing to age up. I'm not too much a fan of that. I'm not sure why he would age up here. You know, British, they don't have a fast age up politician. Instead, they have something like 400 wood and a caravel or a 7 longbowmen age up that takes 110 seconds to complete. So, all things considered, even if SirAllgamer were to do something like send falconets, it's going to be 3 minutes since he clicks the age up to fortress button before those falconets even appear on the battlefield. In that time, this is plenty of time for XYH to push in and make a positive engagement in his favor. That said, for XYH here, he was outnumbered and also outpositioned. Coming away from this this engagement very much behind. In fact, he had a military advantage, but it seems it was squandered there. I don't know where the rest of his military units went. Very good on SirAllgamer. Engaging with all his units there. Still has a score lead, in fact. Aging up. And in fact, now that he won that fight, he's in a good position. Unlike what I had expected earlier, where, you know, XYH had the tech advantage, the military unit advantage, and he had the momentum. 5 Ashigaru, just walking past these musketeers. You can make good use of these and go raid some villagers. SirAllgamer a bit heavy on the food. Gonna need to find a way to utilize that. Another 2 cherry orchard shipment from XYH. And these cherry orchards are very exposed. They're pretty much full. I'm not sure why he isn't gathering from them. Why he felt the need to send more cherry orchards when he has these ones in base. I figure he still could gather from them. I mean, they're relatively safe. SirAllgamer's not making a dead-on push into his base. However, we can see that that is the case now, that SirAllgamer's choosing to push in. And I think this is a good decision. Got some idle musketeers sitting in his base, about 20. I'd like to see him push out over to this side. While he's already engaging over here, you could get off a nice raid, or at least garrison, like roughly 25 villagers here. Maybe siege a barracks, Maybe even siege the TC down. You know, these veteran musketeers do have pretty good siege. But SirAllgamer taking his time. In fact, right now he's ahead on the economic unit population. Look at the shipment sent. I think he sent 8 villagers. There you go. 8 villagers. Technically puts him ahead. And, economic potential. We can see here this engagement going positively for SirAllgamer. Some errant musketeers, but they're going to get picked off by the longbowmen. Shrine going down. Market and probably barracks going down. These trades just insurmountably good for SirAllgamer. Despite, you know, XYH's advantage a few minutes ago, he hasn't been able to find the right engagement or properly engage SirAllgamer. You know, around the map, you know, sent some Ashigarus to raid, but they didn't accomplish that much. And when it came time to finally engage, we had the engagement over here. He was outnumbered and outpositioned. Yeah, as it is, XYH stands to lose a lot. SirAllgamer with a 75-point advantage. And we could just look at the military unit population. There's basically nothing out on the field for XYH. Intervention coming here. It's going to pop out 10 Yamabushi, but Yamabushi, they're a melee infantry unit. They're good against cavalry, but they don't do particularly well against musketeers. The Shogu Shrine, as well as the Golden Pavilion, going down for XYH. Just brute forcing this small force from XYH. Just 2 exposed falconets. I think XYH is going to try to snipe them with Daimyo Motodara. SirAllgamer would move these musketeers forward. Looks like 1 falconet's going to go down, but at the cost of Daimyo Motodara. Yep, indeed. And right here, I think XYH is on his deathbed. I don't think there's much he can do to come back in this match. And then we're going to see the game called in the favor of SirAllgamer. And that's going to tie the series to 1-1. In fact, we'll go to the 3rd match, which will be on Gran Chaco. My criticisms of this match, I would say I think SirAllgamer could have been a bit more proactive with his musketeers early on. As well, I think XYH could have taken a better engagement when he did have the advantage, while he was age 3, but SirAllgamer was aging up. I think there was a potential for him to take a good engagement, and he just committed to the wrong one. And after that, it just it snowballed out of his favor. We want to look at the post game. Quite close, but SirAllgamer edging it out. Look at the villager population. Yeah, this is when he lost his TC. He also lost 8 villagers there. Look at the military unit population. Again, they're about even. XYH having the far better units. They're just much more upgraded, much more powerful, but just engaging at the wrong time, an awkward engagement, and lost a bunch of units. And from there, it was very difficult for him to remass and engage properly, and that, like I said, snowballed into a loss. But as I said, Gran Chaco is going to be the Game 3 map. Moving on. The hosting. There we are. SirAllgamer locking in French as his civilization, and XYH counterpicking that with India. So far, SirAllgamer has played Portuguese, British, and French. British and French again being his main civilizations, and XYH has played Chinese, Japan, and India. So all three Asian civilizations. It seems like we're ready to go. This will be Game 3 in a best-of-3 series between SirAllgamer and XYH in the qualifier stage, Group 19. SirAllgamer, a player from Germany, and XYH, a player from China. Both are around the second lieutenant level, and the series is tied up. This will be the deciding match. In the south of the map will be SirAllgamer, playing as the French in the color red. I'm looking at the wrong player. In the north of the map will be SirAllgamer, playing as the French in the color red. And in the south of the map will be India, or XYH, playing as India in the color blue. The map is Gran Chaco. Gran Chaco, a more aggressive map, a non-TP map, France being a civilization that really does enjoy controlling the TP line, getting a trade post, and doing stuff like Cav, semi-FF. But on this map, that game plan isn't as fluid as it is on a more standard map. So, in terms of a civilization advantage, I say India is a very good pick for this map. India, a good pick on basically every map, but especially here, where the French player does not have the option to stagecoach or stagecoach boom, or TP or stagecoach boom. What I meant to say. Let's look at the initial treasures. SirAllgamer picking up a 40 food. XYH has scouted this 100 XP treasure. I think he should go for that. 2 Jaguars with his 2 Explorers. Also picking up these llamas very intelligently. There are llamas on this map. Only 8 of them, I believe. SirAllgamer going to pick up 2. These llamas will grant India a slight XP trickle. And that's a significant advantage against French, which, especially on a no TP map. Gonna go for the 40 food treasure here. And continue to scout with his other explorer. SirAllgamer building that market. I believe he's gonna go for an early hunting dogs, but he doesn't have the coin for it yet. He's getting up the 40 coin treasure, which will give him enough coin with which to get hunting dogs. XYH already gathered up for the Aja. Got a villager forward, so I think he's going to build a forward Agra. And if he were to build that right now, 215, that building's going to complete around 415. In fact, he did a 1010. Now all of his villagers are tasked to wood. Going to build a house. Get that next villager queued up as soon as possible. XYH going for a standard 14 villager Aja. Nothing funky. Not a 13, not a 15. Just a 14. And we'll have to see when SirAllgamer's queued. In fact, maybe he does have another villager in queue. No, this seems normal. I think SirAllgamer will age up around, or he'll queue the age up around 3 minutes, and he'll age up to a colonial age around 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Just 15 seconds behind this India player here. He chose to go for the 10-10 build order. XYH going for this 60 food treasure guarded by 2 alligators. He might actually lose his... Oh, 9 HP. Losing his explorer, as well as not gathering that treasure. SirAllgamer were to notice that, which I don't think he will because he's focused on another treasure. for 100 food guarded by 2 jaguars. But, you know, if in a hypothetical universe where SirAllgamer's explorer was somewhere off to this side, he would very easily be able to come in and pick up that alligator treasure for himself. But something better on his mind. 100 food is more than 60 food, so that's what SirAllgamer's going to focus on here. The other Indian explorer going to come in, revive the other Indian explorer, and I think they're going to take that treasure now. SirAllgamer's Navajo Scout taking a lot of damage from the Agra fort. It's a bit sloppy. Probably going to lose it. Up by the skin of his neck, 0 HP. I think it's going to get away. SirAllgamer here, immediately building a barracks. Let's look at the units in queue. 2 Sepoy for XYH. The military unit population right here. So from the age up, the Agra age up, that gives XYH 2 free Sepoy. That are going to help him gather these treasures over to the side of the map. In addition to that, XYH queued up 2 Sepoy. Not a great batch. He would have preferred something like 5 Sepoy, but that's alright. SirAllgamer going with a 2 barracks build order. Sending 4 couriers first shipment in colonial age. XYH going with 600 wood. That's going to allow him to do is maybe get a market upgrade or 2. He's got the hunting eagles. Getting up a consulate, a caravansary. I think the next shipment for XYH is likely to be 300 export, seeing this consulate. He'll probably choose to go with the British and maybe buy some redcoats, mass up some Sepoy, and then go in after that. XYH. Building musketeers, you know, like he did with the British. He really likes these musketeers. In fact, he made them with Portuguese as well. So he's made musketeers in every game here so far. Got 15 out on the field. What I'd like to see from SirAllgamer here is maybe the sending of 700 coin and gathering food and aging up here. He's already got the 15 musketeers out. If XYH were to push out, he would be doing so shortly, but he would be doing so with basically an army completely comprised of Sepoy and British redcoats. With 15 musketeers and a Minutemen pop, I think that's enough to hold it, as long as you kite nicely. Maybe a little bit of TC fire there. And if you age up in the back of that, I think you're in a significantly better position for the long term of the game, rather than committing to age 2 play as France versus India on a no TP map. You know, India just has superior scaling abilities, what with their upgrades. We can see this attack upgrade for camels, 30%. This melee upgrade, very powerful. Whereas France doesn't really get much in the way of unit upgrades in H2. In fact, they have cav upgrades, and there's also a 20% crossbowman hit points upgrade. But in SirAllgamer's deck, he doesn't have either of those cards. That he has riding school and fencing school. I'd be hard pressed to see those 2 shipments being useful in this game here. But the economy's about even, and XYH not choosing to make any pressure yet. Look at the shipments. In fact, he did go with the 300 export shipment. It's a bit late if XYH were to go with any rush, so I think he's just going with the Ottoman. Got to get the villagers, the 4 villager tech shipment. Adding in some Gurkhas to the mix. I think XYH might commit to the Age 2 game plan, but I'd like to see him push out a little bit right now. Maybe harass with the Gurkhas with his range advantage. Come to the side of the base. The Sepoy try to raid. Basically do something proactive. He's also getting these treasures, so that is doing something. It's quite nice. The batch of Gurkhas, and I think this is go time for XYH. SirAllgamer definitely committing to the Age 2 game plan. Not putting in a stable, but just going pure musketeer. And while he does outmass XYH, XYH has these Gurkhas. So should he choose, XYH can just hit and run this pure musketeer army. He doesn't have to fully engage. He can just go back to the Agra, continue to hit and run these musketeers and harass. Not what we're seeing from either player quite yet. We do see the stable. I was mistaken. To the side of the map, a proxy stable at this point in the game. Quite interesting, but I don't think XYH has scouted that, so this could be quite powerful. SirAllgamer with a bit of a resource imbalance, a little bit too much food here. He needs more coin, or at least some more wood, maybe even some wood to build some expos. He did get 4 Hussars out. I think his next shipment might be 700 coin. Maybe he's even trying to line up the age. Go to Fortress. This 1 sour scouting the 4 Hussars, and I would assume it also saw the stable, what with XYH having the Ottoman alliance, which grants him more line of sight. So now XYH knows that there's a stable there. He knows that there's 4 Huss out on the map. He's going to elect to go and siege that down. Or maybe he's not. Maybe like making a U-turn around the lake. Finding these villagers, going to harass them. SirAllgamer, nice pull, running them away. And now XYH finds the stable, going to siege it down, like I said. But even still, this is pretty good for SirAllgamer. He is outmassed India player. Should he choose to engage here, I think it could go in SirAllgamer's favor. But choosing to back off, probably once he saw those additional 5 sepoys, as well as the Gurkha mass, he chose, he'd rather pick his fight somewhere else. Gonna use the 4 Hussars to come around the back, maybe sweep around, kill a villager or 2. Or at the very least, distract XYH in his base while a main engagement is going on. And this looks like go time for SirAllgamer. Or not. Losing 3 musketeers, killing off 1 sepoy. 4, maybe a 5th musketeer. Losing 4 musketeers to 1 sepoy. Going back to his base. He does have the age up queued, so he did send that 700 coin. Going up to Fortress. This is very wise by SirAllgamer. There's no reason for him to engage while he's aging up. I'd like to see him rebalance his distribution so that he can get the veteran musketeer upgrade as well. He has a shipment stack, so he can send 2 falconets. But he has to stall for as long as he can. This is not the right time to engage with your unupgraded musketeers. He needs at least 30 seconds for that musketeer upgrade to come into effect. As well, he needs 40 seconds for the falconet shipment to arrive. These musketeers gonna keep these units busy for a little bit. Getting a nice trade right here with these sepoys right here. SirAllgamer doing pretty well here. In fact, he forces XYH back. I think what that's going to do is 8 skirmishers on the way. Okay, there we go. 8 skirmishers are going to allow him to, better engage with these Gurkhas as well as harass the sepoy once he chooses to push out. Another 9 skirmishers added to the batch from the barracks. I'd like to see the musketeer upgrade coming as soon as possible. It looks like SirAllgamer's trading for it right now, so he's going to queue up that tech. Very good. So, in addition to having more military unit population, SirAllgamer is an age ahead. He's in the Fortress age, whereas seems like XYH might trade some food down so that he can age up himself. Hussar is a cavalry engagement here. These 4, was that a goon? Now these 4 Hussars gonna go down. Traded for 1 sour and a little bit of damage on some others. SirAllgamer again taking a defensive position, just moving his military to where he's gathering his coin, just in case XYH chooses to do something cheeky. But I think XYH's cheekiness isn't oriented the way SirAllgamer expects it. I don't think XYH cares to do the Age 2 game plan anymore. Instead, he's going Age 3. And SirAllgamer doesn't make a move here. I think he's going to be a little bit surprised. See that. Again, it's all about windows. This is SirAllgamer's windows. Excuse me, this is SirAllgamer's window right now, where he has the military advantage, and if he had done a bit of a better job scouting, he would have known that, you know, XYH doesn't have any more military units in queue, and that this was just the proper time to engage. XYH going back. Again, he has that age up in queue, so he doesn't want to commit to a full-on engagement. He wants to age up safely, get maybe a Yurumi shipment in, upgrade his Gurkha, upgrade his Sepoy, and work it from there. Aging up with the Tower of Victory, that's going to grant him 800 crates of wood, this town center. What that's going to do is it's going to streamline his ability to, you know, it's going to get him that market upgrade as well. Building another barracks, it's going to get him the upgrades for his units, and maybe even an additional town center. He's built a castle here, so maybe he'll just convert a little bit of the extra wood into houses. And SirAllgamer not being too aggressive. I'm not sure that I'm a fan of waiting so long. Again, he has the military unit advantage, but he's not choosing to act on it. And eventually, India's just going to scale better than France does. You can see India here has a better economic unit population. But with the 4 villager shipment, that is effectively 300 export, and the big trickle, the big wood trickle, planning for basically 5 villagers. I believe this is a town center. Yeah, town center coming up mid-map. Gonna establish some control around this hunt. As well as wood around here, for what it's worth. SirAllgamer finally pushing out, going directly towards the Agra. XYH sending a preemptive 2 siege elephants, but little does he know, SirAllgamer does not have 2 Falcons on the field, nor any artillery at all. Doing a nice job to pick off the disciplined Sepoy here. The batch here. Very nice, gonna get some nice pickups. XYH not quite close to another shipment yet, so it's going to be a while before he can get something powerful like the Yurumi to bolster his military mass. And these siege elephants just not providing a lot of value yet. Especially if SirAllgamer is able to scout that XYH has these two siege elephants. He'll just elect not to send the 2 falconets. It's not a game-breaking shipment at this point. Ooh. Being a bit lazy on the attack move there. XYH's Mahout's getting in a very good position against the skirmishers. And these musketeers are just going to fall like flies to the disciplined Sepoy and Gurkha. And in fact, even the inspiration ability being called there, that little mistake where SirAllgamer's army walked into XYH's, that you know, that lapse in military control, that kind of, yeah, it does not look so fruity from this point for SirAllgamer. You know, he's significantly down, over 50 population in military advantage to XYH. In fact, a little raid going for SirAllgamer here, but I don't know that that's enough, especially when we can look at the recalculated. You know, basically XYH can lose every single one of these villagers and still have an economic lead. I don't like that XYH is engaging with pure cavalry over here against these dragoons. I think that's kind of a waste. Gonna lose this Mahout. It's a very high value unit. Lose a bunch of Sours as well. But basically, you know, these careers being forced off of coin, There is over here that are going to die. This outpost is going to go down, as well as these dragoons. There's just not a lot that SirAllgamer can do to come back from this. He's down in military, his army is weaker, and he's down in economy. I think that SirAllgamer definitely had a lot of windows with which to push out earlier with an early Fortress Age with his superior military count. But in addition, he should have just, you know, I haven't seen him do something like hit and run with his skirmishers yet. He should have 2 different control groups for his skirmishers and his musketeers, and he should be hit and running, or using the maximum range of his skirmishers to pick off Indian units as often as he can. We haven't seen that at all this game. You know, the engagements that we've seen, it's just been a full-on close-range engagement, and that has not gone to the favor of SirAllgamer. 7 Yurumi, as well as 3 Mahouts being built by XYH. XYH over 100 score ahead. That translates to both an economic and a military advantage. XYH coming in here, and you know, at this point, even an upgrade coming in, you know, his units are significantly stronger, he's got significantly more of them, and behind that he has a better economy. You know, I'm kind of running in circles stating myself over again, but I don't think that there's much SirAllgamer can do here, and he's just looking, SirAllgamer being a good sport, he's going to play it out until all of his military's dead, and then he'll probably call it. XYH just cleaning house here. And there we can see the last unit for SirAllgamer going down. The Indian unit's just wreaking havoc in SirAllgamer's base. SirAllgamer choosing not to resign yet, but I do think there's no way for him to come back. I guess he just wants to set up the fort. You know, I do this too sometimes. I just like to see some fun things go on, so I'll stay in the game even though I know I've lost it. The fort wagon going down, so I'm not even going to get to see that go up. Gonna see the GG there, and that will bring the series 2-1 to XYH, beating out SirAllgamer in a best of 3, and I believe that brings XYH's group stage record to 1-1. So he's won 1 match and lost another, and that brings SirAllgamer's record to 0-2. Of discussion. SirAllgamer enjoying playing against the Asian civilizations. XYH played literally every single Asian civilization, both all Chinese, Japan, and India in the last game here. Or to look at the post-game graphs. Again, I just think there was a window, or there were windows for SirAllgamer early on. He could have prodded out with his superior mass, his skirmishers, and he never committed. He never went out of his base. He never made any aggressive moves. Instead, he stayed on the defensive and unfortunately got caught in a bad engagement, similar to XYH in Game 2. And from there, it's not possible for him to win. And that was the end of it. So, Congratulations to XYH.